Hi, Carmen. No, you don't get notifications when I'm going live. That's why I put it in the actual inbox. When they are pre-recorded, yes, you guys do get actual notifications. But because I'm strapped for time and I'm having to go live, we're not getting notifications. Now, tomorrow I will be doing the Scorpio and Pisces read for the eclipse. It will be happening on the day in Perth, WA for the actual eclipse energy. And I'll continue on to the earth and fire signs as well. Now, yes, you can make bookings. The link is below, as well as any area that is actually blocked off and it's looking as though it's not available. Yes, it is. Now, I'm going to cover the energy for the feminines. Most of you have looked at the previous read, which is connected to the masculines. Again, I will do more updates during the month as the energy comes to me in a download. Now, there is a lot of energy changing with the feminines at the moment. For those of you who don't know, I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame. I also coach a lot of you guys being twin flames, moving through it. I am currently in union and I have been for 6 months. But most of what I teach is connected to you coming into yourself, because that's the key to it. Of chemistry, okay? A lot of trigger points, fight and flight. Potentially for the last 3 weeks, it's been like that. It has been building up and amping up to a seismic conclusion, so to speak. A lot of old cycles you're actually purging. A lot of you at the moment may even feel like you're transmuting a karmic frequency in general. Potentially a lot of trigger points. Now, I'm going to be covering 2 energies. And that's for those of you in communication and those of you who aren't in communication, because we need to look at it from both sides of the fence. The one thing I have found, especially with my clientele, is the vibration is relevant to both parties, okay? So, you know, a lot of us can get into our ego and we can feel because we're not in direct communication, similar things aren't happening. No, that's not correct. You know, me being in this current situation and coaching my clientele, a lot of us are going through exactly the same vibration, because the purge related to the transits and what's going on with the retrograde cycles is very similar to what directly is going on for those of you who are in connection and those of you who aren't in connection, okay? The problem at the moment for you guys actually catching me has been because I've been going through a transition myself with accommodation. So that should be settling in the weeks coming. But definitely, you know, doing my very best to come to you guys live. I don't leave you in the lurch. But again, if you're needing to make a booking, you want to check in with what's happening with the transit or it was occurring. Definitely with the Mercury frequency, we already have that coming through. Again, with the eclipse, what you're going to find is, especially with Venus, it moves into Cancer. It's going to be making some interesting aspects, but it's really amping up and it's changing and shifting by the time we get to the Capricorn eclipse. So a lot of the delusions you're going to be feeling is this assessment kind of factor that's going on through your life. You can be potentially, my best advice is when you're getting triggered in an area, detach and anchor your energy back in. It is a very trigger point time. There can be a lot of karmic cycles ending out. A lot of this energy will be from 2009. So old energies connected to 2009 can be coming up for you in general. You can feel you're revisiting certain vibrations, feelings, situations, people from the past can be coming back as well. You may even be feeling that you're living a similar story, which can be causing a great deal of trigger for you, potentially you even getting to a place where you're questioning, have you purged enough? Have you ascended enough? Are you in alignment? How do you get yourself back into alignment? It's very natural what you're physically going through right now. I can say it's temporary, but that doesn't help, because when you are going through those energies, it can feel quite intense. It's trying to keep patient through that cycle and know that, especially when you're looking at zodiac signs and it's, you know, and it's saying things that potentially could trigger you, it's being in your higher consciousness about it and really assessing on that day, you know, where are you at? Are you in a good place right now to be hearing something? Can you use your cognitive ability to decipher between what is the trigger point and what is a reality-based situation, especially with Neptune retrograde? I'm tongue-tied at the moment with these energies coming through. A lot of base chakra has been coming up for feminines. I guess though you need to up, listen to your intuition. it is a time where I do feel you need to get into light body and healing. You need to do things that are going to help you have that extra energy. It can lower in the first 2 to 3 weeks of July. So try and go easy on yourselves with what is coming up and with what is going on. I do feel for many of the feminines, there has been 3 weeks of very heavy energy where you've either been working on 3D tasks, working on situations, and trying to balance things out in your life. This can either be internally or externally. Hello. So, you know, with the things that you've been doing and I can't say to keep yourself busy because quite frankly with the feminines at the moment, Morningdale, it has been a very busy time and it has been for potentially 3 weeks. Very much when it comes to the solar plexus, sacral chakra and your base chakra coming up heavily. Again, when we're having symptoms, what does happen is, and again, you can be getting to a point that you're actually looking at yourself and saying, have I healed enough? Am I in alignment? What is coming up? Now, even if you're not in communication, you can bring these points coming through, and it's happening communication back into alignment, but it doesn't mean to say that it hasn't been difficult and it hasn't been testing on your nerves. Many of you also are quite nervous about what this actually, you know, is going to mean for you guys personally when it comes to the eclipse. So we're going to tune into that energy, but there are a lot of shifts and there are a lot of karmic energies coming back. Now, remember, when I mentioned karmic, there was a conversation we were talking about within the Cancer video. Now, I do suggest that those of you who haven't looked at it do, because the general part of the reading will relate to all of us collectively. And with that, I do talk a little bit about the transit and what's going to happen. So we can get a deeper insight into potentially some of the aspects that are coming up. So it would be a good idea to actually have a look at that video. Okay, now I'm pulling cards for those of you in communication and not in communication. For both the Cancer and the Capricorn eclipse. And also what the karmic energies surrounding those areas are for you guys to look at. And what it's actually going to do after the fact. I do feel you are picking up on the masculine frequency quite a bit. Some of you might feel you're going a little bit batty. Some of you also are getting to a point, it could be on your side. Is anyone else having issues with the connection? It's not flickering on my side. We are in the shadow aspect of Mercury. I'll try and move my phone away. It's bad. What about now? We're in Mercury retrograde. Good morning. I'm hoping it's working. Is everyone receiving the frequency of it okay? Okay. A bit better. Okay, we'll get tucked into it so we can actually get through with this and hopefully you can get the information. Past tense frequency. A lot of the past is going to come back, okay? So these things that were blocking you in your past, feminine, they've been a lot, okay? So like I was saying, potentially for the last 3 weeks to 2 months, it has been very, very heavy energy, okay? So the reflection is looking back. A lot of what is changing is to alleviate these, okay? So some of the things that are going to happen during this eclipse season need to happen to change the whole dynamic. When you look at it, it is from 2009 all the way through with the Cancer frequency, with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn. But at the same time, we are tying up the ends from January. So there was that transition from January through to now where we were ending out a cycle, transforming a cycle, manifesting things in. Around the 16th, what you're going to find is it's going to be a bit different. It's going to shift the energy. So if you can be patient for that energy, you're going to find what you think it's going to be is not quite how it's going to be. So you're going to need to be flexible with that energy. But it's for the betterment of the bigger picture of the story moving forward in your twin flame journey. This could shock everyone, okay? So this could shock you guys. It's a shake-up call, but this situation is to change everyone. Those who aren't awake, it's going to shift them into that consciousness. Those that need to potentially move forward and ascend to a higher level, it's shifting them into the vibration of being accountable. Currently, you know that some people aren't going to like, how do I put it? When you've moved through a cycle, when others haven't, but you know energetically where they are, where potentially they're out of alignment. This can be karmic energies as well. Knowing that you can see because you've been on their side of the fence, you're watching what's about to unfold. This could be at a vibrational level or a 3D level, but you can also be witnessing a lot of people around you going through a transition. A lot of the energies that you're moving towards is where the karmic endings belong, okay? So you're moving into the eye of the storm, and this can be between now and the 16th. So this can be where betrayals actually occurred in connections. Now, I'm feeling this more to be a past tense scenario. I'm not feeling this to be a current situation. A lot of toxic people are going to come to the surface where you're actually going to see true colors. So especially with the Neptune retrograde, be super cautious. Read the fine print. Really, even if someone's selling you something in a way of their demeanor, be very, very cautious about their demeanor at the moment. It's not quite what you think it is. But all of this is to actually shift the frequency of others. But it can be where people come around you and towards you in a very triggered sense. I'm also feeling as if there's ends or situations ending out, it's due to old karmic cycles. Those of you in communication, you may be really overwhelmed. There could be conflict around the moon energy. It doesn't have to be directly relating to you, but you could be witnessing it either on the DM side or your side. But there can be where conflict is coming to an absolute head. The karmic energy surrounding that is to get them and you out of that situation. It's where differing views are coming up. Differing opinions are coming up, but regardless, you're climbing out of this energy. To stay in alignment, attempt to actually be the fly on the wall. It will directly impact you because you guys are in communication, but I feel this is external to you. You're wanting to purge away from people, places, and things that don't relate to you because they are toxic frequencies. Those of you who aren't in communication, you're recouping. So there's a recovery of a situation, even if it feels quiet. Use the time to get yourself into alignment because it is a very temporary energy for you guys. You could be really focusing on keeping your cards close to your chest. Some of what could be coming up in a karmic sense is some things are hidden from you and it's frustrating you because you're wanting to know what's going on. Bloody hell, he's noisy. By the Capricorn moon, feminines, be very careful, okay? Yeah, hopefully it's not bouncing. I'm doing my best. Now, with the energy of the Capricorn moon, it can be where you could be tempted to do particular things. Try and see the truth of situations, okay? Try and see it to the point where, is it a balanced scenario for those of you in communication? There could be people all of a sudden being super nice. In your higher consciousness, assess where it's balanced. If it's not balanced, get to a point where you create those healthy boundaries because there could be some manipulation around those time frames. The karmic energy connected to that is you may feel things are getting back on track. And again, I did mention in the Cancer video that between the 16th and the 24th, there can be a time frame where it's the burn off of the old energy. So it can potentially start getting better. But you're going to find from August onwards, that's when the energy really shifts. For those of you who aren't in communication, there can be energies where there's a lot of stubbornness around, you know, where lead a horse to water, can't make it drink. Again, try and be patient with that, because nothing's really set in stone at this point. Having to really keep quite flexible during this month and grounded at the same time. The karmic frequency about this is any foolish energy, any leaps of faith before the relevant information has come in. It may be a shift of course for you guys. So really do be very careful when it does come to the things that are coming through. You know, potentially if you can gain more insight and clarity, towards the end of the month it will bode better, but moving into August it will bode better again. But again, there is a shift in these frequencies. Again, look at the masculine video, because at the same time I'm feeling this is external to you. It may be energies where you're feeling guilt or failure at a very temporary level. Also look at the things that are happening in your own life, because it will directly mirror in some shape or form what's going on in masculine's life. And to heal that blockage, you can actually work on those areas. Karmically speaking, there can be really foolish decisions being made. At the same time, I am feeling that you're really testing the waters and wanting to proceed forward, but unsure how this is going to be if you feel they're remaining in the same frequency. Both parties, be it in contact or not, and this is the overall energy, both of you are requiring to stay very grounded through this transit. Okay, this is both for masculines and feminines, together, collectively, or alone. You need to keep grounded through this transit. It's temporary and it's necessary. On the feminine side of the fence, you know what your self-worth is, and that's on both sides. You know the good things that are meant to be coming towards you are going to directly be attracted to you. So it can be where you're battling to actually stay in alignment. But it's also not getting to a point where you're willing to take crumbs anymore. And it's not that that's a toxic thing. It's that it's a realization and part of the awakening of self-worth coming through. You do know to the core of you that this is going to be. It's when that's going to be. And again, you do have choices. So some of you potentially may be making choices. You know that at some point this is going to happen. And detachment is necessary to alchemize that. But many of you are getting quite back to the clock again. Like, is this going to happen? We're running out of time. It has been 6 months. What is going on? It just feels like this energy of wanting to tie this cycle up and move along. A lot of you may be wanting to fast forward through the frequency because you have waited a long time for this transit, but you do know directly what your worth is. On their side of the fence, and this did come up for a reading this morning, so I feel it's interesting that this is coming up on the masculine side. They're feeling as though, and the way I explained it, because the energy coming through is quite interesting. They know that they need to communicate, and this is on both sides of the fence, be it you're in communication or you're not. They know, and again, it is a two, so duality, knowing that in order to bring this together, there are two areas in their life at the moment that are being focused on. And very strongly, I do feel this is in relation to employment and past. So employment and past has been a purge that they've been dealing with. They also know that you have moved through and wanted the communication. You have lovingly communicated towards them, regardless of the direct situation. They also know that this is the truth, regardless of whatever they are physically going through in their life, where they are, who they're with, what they're doing. So in their higher consciousness, the eyes are covered with purple. Purple is in relation to the crown chakra. They do know at the end of it, this is what you are. This is who you are. This is what they're wanting. And the interesting thing is with the red bird, pink, red, however you see it, the colors are about love and family and anchoring that energy in. With them, the way they're looking at you, they know they want to make a truce. They know they want to bring this to you quite balanced. But they also do know that you're very independent. I do feel at the moment they're actually seeing more signs and synchronicities. They're also seeing bees, which I know because my twin has. But the bee is actually on the card on the masculine side of the fence. Now, the fours are very much about anchoring the energy in, and again, crown. And what did I say? The purple over the masculine's eyes. They know in their higher consciousness who the connection is and who it's with and who they're going to end up being with. You actually, to the core, do know as well. If you really step back away from the pain body experience, you do directly know this is going to happen. The only thing really that does trigger you is when you're looking at their 3D and you're looking at it and going, how is that possible? How is it possible? It's by actually detaching, because what's coming up for you guys in a blockage sense, solar plexus and sacral chakra, inner child work. Now, again, due to past tense situations and the time frame, you're wondering whether it's able to alchemize. So the trigger point is, again, the Cancer frequency, you know, the family-related dynamics, the dramas, the things that's holding them back, karmic energies. You are looking too densely at the 3D of it. Yes, we are in the 3D. We're having a humanistic experience. But dealing with it, this situation of what's blocking them in their feminine aspect of themselves is helping them heal the father-related dynamics. And it's interesting because the moon in Cancer directly correlates with feminine energies. But by witnessing toxic feminine energies, it's helping them heal the father-related dynamics, which is really unique coming through to me, but this is what's coming through. With this, I do feel if you can actually balance the lower chakras, try and detach from your belief systems of what you're seeing, because what you're seeing is triggering the 5D. Because in your higher consciousness, you do know this is what you deserve, the happy ever after, the end. You know, and it's never an end. Do you know what I mean? So this energy of what you know is going to be, detached from time, detached from the 3D notion of what's coming. If you're needing to get anchored in and you need to keep grounded during the transit, book a reading and I can give you a hand. You guys also, there may be a child-related dynamic coming up for you. And again, I'm feeling as though you guys are needing to go into hermit mode on both sides of the fence to watch this through. Being a 9, it is connected to the hermit card, you know, so the hermit mode, but it's also connected to spirituality. When you do look at it, the last home that I was in was a 9, and it's deeply spiritual, deeply psychic, as well as a time of healing. It's quite a protected home. In an investment sense, you can also be triggered because things weren't working. Things weren't lasting. They were always ending prematurely. It was like you invest, you saw the distance with it, it would then end abruptly. So the frustration is coming from past tense experiences and the potentiality of how could it succeed. Even with communication, you guys are feeling this energy too, because it could be there's some blockages in the path that you have absolutely no control over. Again, getting very dense into the 3D energy. Anything you're doing right now is helping you reach a conclusion, okay? It's helping you move towards the energy of making a judgment, but being fair in the situation. You may look at some situations with the DM and feel the empath aspect, but then directly look at it and have to be caring towards oneself. I'm also feeling as though you know it's coming very soon. There could be some legalities that are coming up as well. If there's anything in a sense of loose ends that you need to tie up, try and have a look at those things. Because on both sides of the fence, there can be legalities, paperworks, and it's weird that it's coming up during Mercury retrograde, but it really is coming up quite heavily. Try not to be fearful of those scenarios. A lot of times we do recommend and suggest not to sign contracts during those times. Anything that you are dealing with in a paperwork format that you already had made conscious decisions about previous to or prior to Mercury retrograde, it makes no difference. Proceed forward as normal. I'm also feeling as though this is the calm before the storm. So however that directly relates to you on your own very personal path, because all of us are on a personal path that's different. We can have the direct relevant energy. How we directly relate to that is very unique to our past life, as well as the current things that we're dealing with in this 3D scenario. What you're not seeing is divine union is coming. And it's really weird that this has come up. And I'll explain why. A lot of the energy that's coming through is a disbelief that this is humanly possible. The only time it does come is by moving into that frequency. Because when you do move into that frequency, it's similar to dealing with your blockages and your hurts. And when you are going through the 7 stages of healing, you're operating from your third eye. When you're operating from your third eye, you go through the 7 stages of healing. How many chakras? On the initial stage, 7. So each chakra has a spiritual blockage directly relating to past life, directly relating to this 3D and the direct connection. But some of those blocks also come from previous connections. So once purged, you release it because you're physically exhausted. That's when things come towards you. I'm feeling as though when you're literally moving through this frequency through to the 16th, a lot of you will gain communication. A lot of you will shift into complete alignment, where you're detaching from scenarios, you're detaching from storylines, and you're no longer allowing toxic frequencies to entertain you. And it's not to say you're going to turn into a Buddhist monk or anything to that degree. It's more a purge as such because you're needing to release old storylines. I do feel many of you are going to jump timelines. Many of you are going to alchemize that within your mind's eye of how quickly you can shift your frequency. If you're a twin, you're never done. When you've been on the journey as long as I have, that's where the understanding and the comprehension comes from. If you are a true twin flame, it is never done. And you do relax into it and grab a pina colada or a bag of popcorn and you proceed with your growth in your life and you know it's not over. Your growth is ongoing. Detaching from where they were, where they are, where you were and what you no longer are, that's fine. That's part of who you're supposed to become. That's part of your growth. You can't remain the same frequency. That is part of our spiritual growth. Yeah. Hello, Hardly. How are you, my beautiful friend? Yeah, so twin flames, I think you really do come to a complete understanding and comprehension, and you don't believe it because you're very dense in the 3D in the early stages. The further on you proceed, you realise it's a very unique journey. You know, you move through aspects of ego, you move through aspects of judgment. I mean, if I was to tell you my story, we'd be here for years, but you do change a great deal. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I look back and it brings me to tears. It's like, I can't believe I'm still bloody here. Like, I mean, on 3D Earth, it's like, wow. But it does open your heart chakra to a level you never thought possible. Your life. Patience. I mean, when I used to see the patience card, I'd be like, you best be getting that card away from me. Don't even talk to me about the term patience. I had way too much patience, which is necessary, but now I have patience with myself. I have forgiveness for myself when I'm healing. I'm not perfect. Yes, it is a journey. Any questions while we're here? That's okay, my love. Do get anchored in though, because there's going to be a lot of shifts and changes. You can be witnessing a lot of transformations happening with masculine. Vibrationally, if you don't see them, you're going to directly feel it. You've already been feeling it for the last 3 weeks. It's about to go down. Interesting. I feel like I'm so focused on the 3D now, I'm trying to move back into the 5D. A lot of us haven't really had the energy. We have been very dense in the masculine frequency, tackling tasks, being very masculine. The 5D energy is coming in with the moon, so we can ascend higher and ascend above it. No, anything that comes up for you, Dal, you don't need to go into isolation because it's going to come up for you regardless, whether it be a spiritual thing or whether it be a 3D thing with a humanistic experience with another person. The transformations and transitions come through various energies. We are channels, so they come to us in various ways. I mean, I had the most interesting conversation over the weekend with a group of friends and my twin, and we literally were saying the same things, and it was the process of purging, the utilization of toxic tools to cope with lower frequency situations and connections and relationships. And we all were on the same page in our consciousness and awareness that we were trying in different intervals in our life to cope with certain dynamics. And yes, because we were not in our consciousness, we use various tools, be it food, alcohol, whoever that be, and I'm not tagging that on me. I'm talking in general layman's terms to cope with that. But then when you are in your consciousness and you realize patterns and things that you've been doing and you start doing the work, you have compassion towards other people in the way in which they're operating. And you know that that is not directly connected to you. It's because you're spiritually growing, that at a time, within the connection, you may have accepted crumbs. And it's not that they're a bad person or you're a bad person. That was what your vibrational belief system was. And then you outgrew that and you went to that next stage. So a lot of throat chakra has been coming up for feminines. And it's like, I don't feel it's like you haven't said your truth. It's like, shh, watch. Because I'm speaking like really openly to my twin, but it's not our energy. It's their energy at the moment. They're ready to have, like, they're trying to tame it, but it's ready to come up and out. Happy birthday, beautiful. Yep, why not? There's nothing wrong with that. Good morning, Chris Eagle. How are you? No, look, I've been in relationships. I had a child when I first met my twin. I was with somebody else. No regrets with that. I didn't know I was a twin up until about 3 years ago. I've always been psychic. And I truly connected the dots when I met him that he was a soulmate, because that's all I really knew. And I was like, no, this is like, I'm tapped into this person. I really know this person. I just know. But yeah, I was really lucky actually that I didn't know, but then unlucky in a different way. But I do feel it was part of my spiritual path so I could guide other people. But detaching from it and learning, and I've met a lot of spiritual guides as well over my years, which I've been very lucky. It's actually helped me to understand. Plus, now that I can actually look back in the patterns of the connection over 18 years, I've noticed that we simultaneously have gone through spiritual changes, both together and separate, but exactly the same changes. But try not to tune into the things that you're fearing, because you actually will manifest them. Every time I've tuned into it, I have directly manifested it. So the mind is a very powerful thing. Last week, yeah, I've been married and divorced. Yeah, I called myself Elizabeth Taylor. But spiritually, I always felt married to my twin. Even though energetically I didn't know we were twins, I was like, this man be ruining my flow. I'm like, in my ego going, I'm moving on, that's it. I have this normal person. I wasn't normal. What the devil was I thinking? Yes. How are you doing, Femme Coach? Are you being a good girl? I love my Femme Coach. She's beautiful. Yeah, you do. But no, that like the healing, I've had various stages in my life, various things I've experienced. Yeah, but you'll find, Dull, it's not your first year because you're actually a twin from birth. Yeah, you're a twin from birth, so it's always there. Just your ascension symptoms, your awakening, and other things are occurring quite quick, and it is speeding up between now and 2020. So don't fear those of you who are thinking, no, my twins never come. Yeah, you'll be stuck with them 2020, so don't you fear. And then you'll be doing the direct purge with them as well. Yeah, they're really reflective at the moment. There was a lot of aggressive energy coming through with masculines, but it's because their throat chakra activation's coming up. They're purging a lot of the past as well. The balance will come. I'm also feeling, Chris, there's a father figure around him. What's going on with father figure energy? Is this past over energy? There's an older male energy with the beard. I love you too. No updates yet. Oh yeah, I've been getting triggered big time. I said to my twin, tomorrow for the eclipse, I want a sock, gaffer tape, and bubble wrap. And he goes, why do you want bubble wrap and gaffer tape and a sock? And I said, so I can't say anything mean, but put a smile on my face, put tape around my mouth, and put me in bubble wrap so I don't get hurt. Yeah, I'm feeling his energy around him at the moment. Yeah. You can tell him his bro's haunting him. What would you like to know about the eclipse, my love? I would say a lot of transformations, a lot of trigger points coming up. There can be toxic feminines coming out. But you're in your higher consciousness, so stay grounded and know it's temporary. Shifts with people that we relate to. Some people from the past potentially coming back, but at the same time maybe not resonating with them anymore. And old storylines coming back to replay to see, in fact, if we have actually changed. That's okay, Chris. Yeah, I do channel the dead as well, just in case you didn't know. Yeah, I mean, trust me, there's been karmics around my turn, and I'm going, these bitches, they're fucking driving me crazy. I'm like, in my qualm. My sister, she was having a funny weekend. She created this saying, and it was Barneys and Dolphins and Starfish. Shout out to my sister. And she was having a shitty weekend last weekend, and I looked at her and went, Barneys and Dolphins and Starfish? And she said to me, it doesn't work. And I said, I told you. I don't do drama either, but trust me, bitches be crazy. And after a while, you know, we are in the 3D. It gets a bit old. It's like, get a life. Get a freaking life. I ain't got time for this bullshit. Yeah, Dad used to visit me by my bedside all the time, and everyone's like, you're so lucky you're psychic. And I'm like, do you see dead people next to your bed? I don't call that a great childhood. It's like, yeah, go away. The Sixth Sense movie was my childhood. And, you know, the kid under the covers is like, this guy just visited me, and it was like if they didn't get what they wanted, because they would look at me like, you can see me. So I can actually channel directly, how do I put it, past tense energy, channel in around what they're wanting to tell you, as well as I can see them in 3D, and they're walking around like they're normal people. So when I do see that, especially as a child, it was not fun, because they wouldn't go away till I got what they wanted me to telepathically hear to relate to the person. How did the weekend go with the kids? We ended up with 8 kids initially. And then it moved to 11 children. And I both looked at him and I said, are we the rational ones in this world now? Because there was a lot going on that weekend. It was interesting. It was like, wow, yeah, that was not on my life plan. That was not on my bucket list. Oh, yeah. No fucking shit. I love you, honey. Any questions while I'm here? I'm going to go have a shower, and tomorrow I'm going to cover Scorpio and Pisces, and we're going to get the show rolling because I have a lot happening this weekend, so I want these done. I'm going to, obviously, if you guys want emergency booking and you need to get anchored in, inbox me, okay? Those of you who are regulars, I'm not going to charge you extra, okay? Those of you who aren't regulars, if you have to, book it, but if you don't, you know, the wider the window of that time frame you want that booking, it's not going to be as expensive, and I can just book you in with the normal fee. But there's email, which is cheaper. There's videos, which is, you know, you don't have to directly worry about the time frame. You will get the best out of the sessions if they are Skype or telephone, because you can ask me questions, especially if you're stuck, and I'll generally pick up if your chakras are out of alignment. I'll pick up where your blockages are because I've been there, done that. That's okay, Tammy. Look after yourself. Yep, Scorpio and Pisces. So I do have a fairly hectic day, but I will be getting Scorpio and Pisces done. Yeah, and we get a friendship going. Like Fem Coach and I, we just love each other. We're going to have to do a dual session when everything, you know, once everything settles, we're going to do like live sessions, and I'll have her on the channel, and I'll hijack her channel. And there's other people as well that I love dearly. There's Kimberly and there's Lysiana. Hurry up, Lysiana, your channel needs to be launched. And there's Jan, and there's lots of you. You've become like family to me. So those of you who have been here for a long time, you are family now. We're in the same boat, and we're doing this, you know, the same. And my lovely pole dancer friend, you know who you are. I just love her. Yeah, I have actually said to Jen and Lysiana, if I ever came to America and we went to a bar together, I mean, the feminines, if we all caught up together, they'd probably throw us out. Anyone who likes the video, I really do appreciate it, because those that need this information, that need that support, it's going to help them. And the only way these videos do get circulated is if you actually comment and you like the video. So it does help, and it's going to help another feminine, especially to get the correct information. I know, because I am a feminine. Love and light. And I will talk to you soon. I'm definitely coming. I'm coming down. I'll be there soon. Love yous. Bye.